was dubbed Duryea the Destroyer by the local rag.
What about James Sicily?
Not fell out of love with the game, but the confidence was a bit shot.
So what's that like walking into as a kid?
And then it's probably like Bont for me, honestly.
We like Bont.
I just needed a change, just needed to hit the refresh button. You know, I'd play 10 years in a row in the grand final and lose them all just to be part of that experience.
Righto, BackChat, powered by Paywise. We are still in the kennel, and this man, a backman, all right, Norton, pseudo backman.
Yep.
Dr. Duryea, welcome to the podcast.
Thanks for having me. Yeah, naughty fouled backman, we might just say.
Yeah, thank you for that. I mean, he was going on about, kicking goals now and put the good players in the forward line. He's forgotten his roots.
Well, he actually wanted to come back and we said, nah, picked lobby because, and you know what, and it's paid off. So, yeah, naughty, once a backman, but he's long forgotten.
Great, yes, correct.
So usually it's a failed forward ends up in the back line.
Yes.
He's a failed backman.
Yeah, this is just before we get into it, we're going to ask this question. First question we ask every guest, thanks to TABtouch this year. Greatest sporting achievement. Now, we know you're a great football player, right? Premiership player. Hawthorn, Bulldogs, 2 clubs, backman. We love everything about you, but we know you can play football. We're going to talk about footy in a little bit, but we want to know your greatest sporting achievement, not on the football field. I was a flag state champion, under 8s, under 9s, back-to-back state champion. Loved getting in and under, just like a real rogue operator, quite tall, but probably not tall enough to go too far down.
I've represented Australia playing fistball, under 12s cricket hero, all that sort of stuff.
What do you got for us, Taylor?
So I was dubbed Duryea the Destroyer by the local rag, and I was
In what sport?
Cricket. So season opener, it's under 16s, and I've come in first change, and just taken 5 for none, including a 4-wicket hat trick.
Double hat trick.
No, sorry, 4-wicket maiden, including a hat trick. So
wow.
Yeah, and my picture in the paper is me staring directly into the sun, holding up the ball with the 5, and yeah. It's a good picture. I'll try to get it to you, but yeah, Duryea the Destroyer.
Wow. I will only refer to you by that in this podcast, the Fox Footy coverage.
It's nice figures, but the picture's even better.
So it's huge. Not really sport, but I did want to throw another one at you because we had Sean McManus on quite a while ago and threw the same question, and he was a pigeon trainer back in the day. And I just trying to get a bit of mail on you coming into this podcast. I had someone message me, and this is just what it says, and I don't know what it means.
Oh, I know where this is going, yeah.
Can catch pigeons.
What?
I just thought, are you pigeon training, or is this something that maybe after a couple of
I was
beverages?
one of Shawnee's apprentices. No,
apprentice pigeon trainer.
So it was after the 14 flag, I think, 14 flag, and we're at the Elgin. It's the Monday, might have been Sunday. Anyway, we're a bit dusty, and the vibes are a bit low. It's sort of early in the arvo. We're just like, we're a bit tired from celebrating. There's this pigeon wandering around the deck that we're sitting on. It was just annoying everyone. A few boys had a dive at it, and sure enough, it'd get away. And then I've just emerged from under a table after just diving. I've perfectly palmed this pigeon in my hand, and I just stand up and salute the boys with this pigeon, and everyone erupts. And then the vibes just picked up, and everyone was just charging from there. So there's a video of me dancing with the pigeon in my hand. I'll get you the picture of the 5 for, a picture of the pigeon. But it's actually a big highlight of mine, and it just gets brought up all the time.
Then did you release it or something?
Yeah. Animal cruelty, So it played its part, and I set it free because it was lost.
Yeah, good. Send it to Sean McManus.
It wasn't a dove; it was a pigeon.
100% pigeon. White dove, no, none of that stuff.
We will put you in touch with Sean McManus though, because I'm sure he is looking for a bit of stuff. Footy doesn't last forever, mate.
And the natural.
Correct. You might actually have a bit of future in you. So you grew up in New South Wales.
Yeah,
New South Welshman.
Yeah,
just know that.
I mean, right on the border. So
still New South.
Yeah, New South Welshman. A place called Corowa, which is near Albury, real small town, but right on the border of New South and Vic. And although it's New South, it's very much like a footy-centric area. Right. Pretty much, Melbourne's a lot closer to Sydney. Your
siblings?
2 older siblings. So my brother lives in Perth, actually. Right. Sister's in LA, and then a younger sister, she's back home.
Okay, great. Competitive growing up? Because I feel like watching you're a competitive player, so you learn that at home.
I was a genuine psycho as a kid. So to the point where, I don't think my brother liked playing with me. So I used to just kick the footy by myself, try to kick it over the power line. And that was my a challenge I set myself. Can I kick it high enough to get over the power line? And I used to just kick the footy by myself nonstop.
So we just started talking about defenders, and we don't want Aaron Norton down there anymore. But I think you were a forward when you got drafted. Is that my correct? Or?
Yeah, I was. But I mean, like everyone my height through the draft, you're a midfielder. But at school footy, we didn't have really many forwards. So I used to play just one out in the square at school footy, which was
in the cage.
Not great for my game because I used to just try to take hangers left, right, centre. But drafted, as a forward, still had some forecraft. But when it came to AFL, I sort of just didn't really have the confidence to play at that level. Forwards have it. They have that sort of thing about them where they just love kicking snags.
Yeah, it's all about them.
And I just didn't have that in me. And
Selfless.
So pretty much after my first year, the journey to like wing sort of half-back started. And then,
Good. So Hawthorn, you walk into a club, premiership in 08, get drafted in 09, end of 09.
Yep.
So it's a successful club you walk into. And as we look back now, you're still playing, but like probably, one of the more successful sides, they go with Brisbane and Geelong and Richmond of the last 20 years of just gun sides. So what's that like walking into as a kid?
Well, it's crazy because I just remember, guys like Jared Ruffhead, Jordan Lewis, these fellas, they were only like 24 maybe or 23, but I felt like they were just like 30-year-old veterans. And then as time plays out, I'm sort of winning flags at a similar age and I'm like, geez, I'm young. But the aura they had about them. Yeah. And so that's the one thing I noticed was just, like they were just fierce at training and just had this aura about them. And just, it took a little while to sort of come up to speed. But like as much as things are really competitive in training and at games and stuff like that, they were a pretty nurturing group.
Yeah, I was going to ask who sorts of guys influenced you because you got Mitchell and Hodge and Franklin. Like who were the influences in you as a young kid in that group?
Yeah, I would say
good or bad.
No, I would say Hodgie because I was a bit stubborn, a bit pig-headed, and Hodgie and I used to clash a bit. But the thing with Hodgie is, say if it's game day, if you made a mistake, he just would not care. It's like, mate, just get over it. As long as you're team first attitude, if you're doing things that go against what we need to do as a team, he'd be on your case. But if it's making a mistake, if you're trying to do the right things, he just wouldn't care. He'd pump you up. So as much as he's maybe revered as this, just crazy strong figure, he's a bit more of got that nurturing side to him. So and then Sam Mitchell in terms of the way he looks at the game, he's the smartest person I've come across in footy for sure.
That's interesting.
So to have had two, amazing leaders, but lead in different ways has probably been a big influence on me. And then just players you come through over the time, like Josh Gibson and these guys in the back line that, look after you. So I've had some pretty good mentors.
What about James Sicily?
Yeah. Well, good mates with Sis. Obviously not going to say he's a mentor of mine, but someone that, I get on really well with, and we've obviously had that infamous run-in at Subiaco.
You got it. Mate.
So fun.
We come across it because Sis is in our BackChat Backman group. We have one player from each club. Who's that Bulldog? Oh, John. James O'Donnell. Yeah. You might be putting your hand up soon, though. And we were talking to him about it, and he sent through a video. I hadn't seen it. Talk us through it. I mean, one strong thing about Hawthorn Premiership here is strong feedback side.
Yeah.
So you've come in to give him a bit of feedback?
Mate, so
he copped a falcon.
He was going nuts at the umpire. I'm like, it's not going to do anything.
Do you remember what happened before that? He got kicked in the face with the ball. So someone's come and kicked the footy through in Ballantyne.
Okay.
And he's copped the ball in the face.
Yeah.
Hard.
From this far away.
He must have thought it was kicking in danger or something, did he?
Correct. Yeah. And he's blowing up.
Yeah. Thinking he should have got a free kick, which I'm like, mate, who cares?
Going nuts.
But also, Sis would give away 50s on the regular. I think in his first Box Hill game, you might have to search this up, but actually that's fact. Don't even cross-check it. He gave away a 100-metre penalty goal. No, it wasn't a Box Hill game. I think he was playing for Willie. Brent Prismal tells the story. He was playing for Willie as a Western Jets 23rd man.
Like a top-up.
Top-up. They have a 23rd coming out of the TAC Cup at the time, and he gave away a 100-metre penalty goal. So that's Sis for you. And I just ran over to basically say, pull your head in, but he's turned at the same time. So we've clashed and bumped into each other. And he thought I was coming for him. And so he's absolutely put a hand through my chest and told me to in certain words to get back to the back line, and which I was like,
Told you
mate,
fuck off.
yeah, I'm actually playing forward at this stage. So I'm like, he's nowhere mentally. And yeah, it was quite funny. But
we watched it just crying. It's so funny.
Yeah.
It's he said it was like one of his not a proud moment for him.
He's a captain of the club now. He's a captain of the Hawthorn
but
football club
you
now.
can see that he's always had that in him. Like,
Yeah.
People, whether they lose their cool and stuff, doesn't suggest whether they're a good leader or not. But yeah, at the time, he was a little hot-headed. Still has that occasionally in him, but yeah.
So do you.
Yeah.
Again, bit of mail and a quote, angriest player in the best way. And it said to me, you times 100 on the field. I was angry about on the field. So you're not now. You're sitting here talking to us.
No, I
know
do.
you're off the field, but you're angry man on the field. Bit of white line.
Angry but measured. Like, I'll give stern feedback.
Right.
So don't take it personally. And it won't ever be about, like, sort of Hodgie mentality. Never about skill execution or anything where it's like you're trying to do the right thing, you just make a mistake. But if I tell you to do something on the ground, I need you to move left, and you don't move left, well, you're going to hear about it. So
yes,
that's the type of thing. Like, just listen to the voice
listen.
and just
listen.
trust it and do it. Yeah. Otherwise, you'll hear me even more, and I'll be probably this far away from you.
Couldn't relate any better. It's like, say left and you're going right. What are we doing here, fellas?
Yeah, exactly. So
just bring it in, boys. You just got to listen to what I say.
Yeah, do as I do and as I say. But no, that's sort of me. Yeah, I'm quite vocal and try to set things up down back. But
ever at Oppo? Like, are you a talker on the field with opposition?
Bit of a retaliator. Like, if someone's getting into one of our guys, trying to tag one of our high half backs, or they're just instigators in the scuffle or in the chat, then I might weigh in. But I don't like to set it, set the tone with that too much.
You're not starting it.
No, maybe in my younger days, because you're just a bit more brash, and plus I was protected by a few big fellas at the time, so I could do that. But no, I've mellowed out.
So 13, 14, 15. So 13, you play 18 games. You play in the VFL Grand Final, but you miss the flag. And then 14 and 15 playing premiership. So, I mean, clearly great memories over that period at the footy club. What are some of your memories? You know what happened on the field and games, but tell us about that period.
Yeah, it was.
I know it's a lot, but
yeah, I think one overall feeling I had through that period was just like this crazy confidence in the group, which we all felt. And so, players feel it in themselves when they're in form, but just what we felt as a group. Like, at no stage in any game do you think you were going to lose. Like, you might be 5 goals down halfway through the last quarter, and you're like, oh, obviously we're going to run over top here. That's sort of what it felt like. So that was just the overarching feeling. But, for me, missed out on that 2013 granny. But as much as I was flat, I look at the side and go, well, that side, everyone in that team deserves to be in there. And for whatever reason, we changed up the mix. I just didn't fit in as the finals came around. So that's just the way it goes. But I was proud to be able to play in a VFL flag. Played a lot of VFL games to that point. So to be able to do that with boys I played majority of my career with, really at that point was awesome. And then you get the just rewards of staying the course and being able to impact the side through 14 and 15. Long time ago now. But it's still, like I said, just the feeling of being in a side that was so complete, I guess, was pretty cool.
You were sub in 2014. And I quote, he was like a guy who had a mushroom boost in Mario Kart when he came on 15 minutes of manic behaviour.
It was wild, because what happened was, firstly, leading into the game, I hadn't been sub.
Ever.
Well, sub maybe once, but it was like coming off an injury, so it was more of a minutes management thing.
Yeah.
And the team meeting, we roll in and the names are on the board for like...
This is
like captain's run. So Friday. And I'm like looking in the back line, I'm like, oh, I'm not starting on. I must be on the bench. Not on the bench. Am I wing? Like, what's...
so and then dropped?
Not wing, defensive forward. Oh, my God. And then my name is in the bottom corner as the sub, but I thought I'd been dropped and had been told. My heart sank. And then so I was sort of a bit flat to be sub, but also like, all right, I'm playing, whatever.
Yes.
And then that last quarter, Cyril was always going to be the bloke coming off, just because he'd had hammies, and that was like his first game, or post the final before, I think. The granny, actually, yeah. And he comes in and he's playing well. But Damien Monkhurst is on the bench. He's like, do we need to sub anyone? And I'm like, looking at him like, are you kidding me, mate? I'm getting on the ground.
Yeah.
So someone's coming off, and I blew up at him. And then I'm like, mate, you're kidding. Don't suggest that. And then, sure enough, Cyril comes on. Then I just, ran wild for 15. And
you were injected.
Oh, mate, I was
shot out of the
I was actually, as much as I was running around like a mushroom boost, whoever said that, I was so fatigued because I was mentally fatigued from just like being in the game.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was cool.
What was the score at that time? Do you remember?
We would have been like 8 goals up probably.
Yeah, right. So you felt like you could just go there and have a bit of fun for 15.
Sydney, right?
Yeah, Sydney.
Yeah.
Because I don't know what we won by. Let's just say, I don't know, 10 goals. I think we still managed to kick away while I was on. So we may have kicked 2 of the last 3 or something like that, or 3 goals in the end. But yeah.
Nice feeling to go on there knowing you're going to win, right?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I mean, I'd love to be I haven't been in a close granny as in when the final siren's blown. But it was cool to have just been able to sort of celebrate in those moments. And funny story actually about the next year. Same thing last quarter, we're up by a fair bit.
Can't remember that.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Sorry, not a funny story.
Yeah, it's not that funny. It's a shit story. Next one.
Funny thing about that, if you can...
Shoot a story.
Yeah. Fellow backman though. So James Frawley.
Yeah. Did a number on JK.
Yeah, he had a good day. Admittedly, we were on, so it's a bit hard to do your thing as a forward. We've kicked a point, and you're sort of setting up, and I'm trying to organise, and I look behind, and James Frawley's basically on the logo, like on the wing, just staring at the crowd.
He's a fullback at this
just
stage.
taking it all
He's
in.
a
Like, he
fullback
wanted to soak in all the crowd and the atmosphere. I'm like,
Great.
What are you fucking doing, mate? Like, oh, sorry, mate, sorry. Then it jogs back and gets on to task, and we pissed ourselves afterwards talking about it. But yeah, that was just a cool moment of someone just trying to soak it all in as we were, 10 goals up or whatever it was. So it was pretty cool.
Have you got any favourite stories over that period? Maybe on or off the field? I don't know. That's a big, broad throw out there. But
look, so many stories. But I was just telling someone the other day about we went to Vegas after 14, and Sam Grimley was the man. So nothing bad here. Nothing bad here. I knew media manager is really starting to worry here. No, Sam Grimley was like, could organise any event. It was just the man.
Right.
So their first or second night, but the first night we're properly out at a club. We roll in and the lights go off, and all of a sudden there's big spotlights, and they're just following us in. And it's like Hawthorn Hawks, like AFL champions, and then the DJ starts up, and we're just like rolling in with streamers and drinks.
Yeah, good.
And we set up at the booth front and centre, and as we settle in, we turn around and the Sydney boys are in the booth behind us, and it was just like, oh no, they were thinking, what have we done to deserve this? But as the night plays out, we're all drinking together and having a good time. But they would have just thought
the Hawthorn song gets played.
Yeah, honestly, that's what it was like. That was a very funny moment. But too many funny stories to tell that are appropriate probably for the pod. But only saying that just because it came up actually yesterday.
That's probably
to go a three-peat is crazy. Like, just it rarely happens. So after you won 2, what's the team like to like thinking we can do this again? Because it must get almost like taxing to be the best team for that long. Yeah,
it was weird because that year in 14 and 15 we started poorly. It was like 4 and 4. Sort of took us a while to get going in those seasons, and then 15 there was some injury, and like we had a lot of things sort of going against us that year that probably kept us on task. Like, it sort of galvanizes the group the more challenges you have, I think, sometimes, instead of being able to just coast. And so that was probably one thing that was really rewarding out of that 15 season for the majority of the group, who, I mean, only won 2, but the guys who
just the 2,
the guys who'd win the 3, like, just to be able to say, the 3-peat, like, I think it was a combination of a lot of hard work and especially like a lot of hurdles and challenges in that season. So that was super rewarding. But I think, it was 4 grannies in a row and a chance to sort of go into a 5th, except for the club we're at right now, ruining the party. But just to be able to do that sort of said that we we're able to just overcome a lot of things that maybe other groups weren't able to, you know, to win one or even two. And some teams have done it, but to win three, sort of like you said at the start of the show, to put us up with those teams like Geelong and Brisbane and you know, since Richmond's pretty cool.
Traded to the Bulldogs in 2018, where we sit right now. How was that period? And you must be really happy here.
Yeah, it was you know, there's my last couple of years at Hawthorn, or particularly in the last, I sort of not fell out of love with the game, but the confidence was a bit shot. I was moved forward, which probably didn't help.
Right, well, they found the issue.
Exactly. So moved forward and just wasn't necessarily working for me. And I just needed a change, just needed to hit the refresh button. And I was catching up with Sydney. So I was in Sydney and caught up with Horse and Tom Harley and Kinnear Beats. And I was just about to go to the airport and Kinnear's like, oh, come with me. So yeah, sweet. So we're walking through the airport together in the Virgin there. So we get spotted and Bevo calls me up and goes, what's going on here? Like, I see you talking to Kinnear. I didn't know you wanted to leave the Hawks. I'm like, explain my situation, what's going on. He's like, right, well, let's try to get you here. So that was pretty cool to know that, well, someone I had a great relationship with at the Hawks still maybe valued me as a person and player. So came in here knowing that the coach had my back, sort of was comfortable with some of the, particularly the defensive systems that he, you know, sort of pretty much implemented at Hawthorn himself.
Right.
Was playing with similar stuff here. So not too new of a game plan to get used to. And then had Matty Suckling here, a really good mate of mine. So felt like there's a lot of unknowns that weren't there that maybe other players experienced. I sort of knew the coach well, good mate, game plan sorted. So came in pretty refreshed.
So Sydney butchered it by the sounds of things. The parade you saw, Bevo's got a little sniff.
Yeah, there you go. We talked to a lot of guys, well, not a lot of guys, but when they get traded, often change state. And so, you know, it's a big move.
Yeah.
For you, it's just you're staying in Victoria, obviously. So is it weird, like staying, like living in the same place and then just going and go put on different clothes? And,
yeah, it was
a different team.
Yeah, it was. It just sort of didn't feel like I'd made the move. You know what I mean? Because you're still living in the same house, as you say, and for the early part of it, you know, I'm still probably catching up with the Hawks boys just as much because you haven't formed the friendships. So yeah, it did feel weird until, you know, games started. Then you probably feel like, yeah, righto, yep, Bulldogs player. So yeah, it was a good. Not that I didn't feel comfortable, but it was a good 6 months really until you're like fully entrenched and feeling like you're part of the club. Bevo
was your assistant coach at Hawthorn, now your head coach. What's he been like? Sounds like you're pretty connected to him. Yeah, very. We've shared some good experiences together and felt like he was probably that. Everyone has that coach that sort of helps them become a player. Like I was, you know, decent VFL player, needed someone to have a bit of faith in me and just his coaching style resonated with me as well. So yeah, I've got a strong relationship and now probably more as that senior player coach type relationship you start to develop, which is a little bit different to say when you first come in. And yeah, being in a leadership group as well, you sort of, there's that more exposure to Bevo in that setting, and we can help flesh out some issues that are going on with the playing group and things like that. So you feel more connected and you're able to have more of an impact on the group through the coach just because of that. So strong relationship with him. He came to the wedding. He was pretty chuffed that he copped an invite. And what happened actually, there's only one good hotel in Corowa. Right. And it's like this Art Deco joint. And so the bridal party's there. There's one spare room and Bevo and Dana have booked it. But he didn't want to cramp our style. Like he didn't want me to feel awkward that he was staying there. So he stayed in his hotel room the whole day. Locked the door. Yeah, and the whole next day because he didn't. So I've just ruined his whole trip. He was locked in the door reading books for a weekend. But yeah, so that shows what type of guy he is, that he wanted to sort of make sure I had the best time possible. I mean, I wouldn't have cared one bit if I saw him, but yeah, that was quite funny. Compare the two, Clarkson and Bevo, are they similar? Are they? Yeah, they are. They're not. All head coaches are a bit. Yeah, they go a bit cuckoo, but no, they sort of aren't. They like to draw a lot on the emotion, and they're quite philosophical. They're really great with how they theme up weeks and things like that. So both quite similar in that. Maybe slightly different in their, parts of their coaching philosophy. But were you in the room when Clarko come marching in as an English guard.
Yeah.
So has Bevo ever got dress ups for pre-game?
Bevo's done some interesting themes, and a few of the ones have definitely gone over some boys' heads. And that's not to say that that's bad by Bevo. It's more probably questioning some intellect of some of the guys. But, Clarko coming in as the guard was just... And we played shocking that week too, so it didn't quite work.
Put that outfit away.
Yeah.
Who told us he was playing?
It's the Hillary Duff, like, Climb a Mountain type song. Like, everyone had to close their eyes and listen to a Hillary Duff song.
Mate, like, honestly, there've been that many. Think, like, if I've played 200 games, both of these coaches do a different theme every week. Like, I don't know how they come up with it, but it's amazing. So, yeah, that's how many times we've had to do some sort of exercise as a group going into a game. So, yeah.
We got 4 minutes before you have to go do weights, and I'm assuming you're going to be throwing some big weights around
huge,
there.
Yeah. Big day today.
Yeah, I assume so. Senior player. Right.
Early in the week.
I know exactly what you're doing in there. Come around, give yourself a bit of a stretch and good.
What can we monitor in the program today?
Make sure you talk to people doing weights, but not actually doing it yourself. I know exactly the program you're on. 2021, Granny.
Yeah.
Strange year.
Yeah, very. Again, look, not our result and the way it panned out, but I'd play 10 years in a row in the grand final and lose them all just to be part of that experience. So as much as it hurts and it was a shit one for us, it's cool to experience, especially now you think that's the only one, and who knows if there is going to be one there, but the only one to be played
Optus,
at Optus. So, and really proud of our group through that final series of what we had to overcome with the travel, and then even the quarantine restrictions and some of the stuff we had to do at hotels, and it was just madness. But yeah, it was a surreal experience. Even the game itself, just the way it ebbed and flowed and swung, and then eventually blew out. It was just a real weird game. Like, yeah, a strange one to be a part of, but disappointing. Like to miss an opportunity there.
You've played with some of the greats of all time. Like, can you rank some of them? Like does Bont? Where does Bont and Hodgie rank? Like, it's
okay. So
good.
Like, Bont's the most complete player I've ever played with, and maybe even against. Like, I've played. So Gary Ablett always sits there for me as just the ultimate midfielder. Like, he was a freak.
Yes.
He was just so hard to stop. You couldn't stop him.
Do you have to partner him a bit? Junior.
It's like if he came forward.
Yeah.
But
sure, I played on him. He used to give me a bath.
He's just so powerful and so quick. And it's like,
all right, so Gaz is there.
Yeah, but then you got Buddy because of just he's who he is. You can't kick 1,000 goals and not be considered.
Yes.
Yeah.
His ability to run and kick and everything. And then it's probably like Bont for me, honestly.
We like Bont. You're forward.
I don't think he needs to win the Brownlows to be considered up there with all the others, but from the outside in, he probably does, because that's where we're at. Like society today, it's this person's here equal. Well, this person's better because they've won a flag. Well, I just don't subscribe to that, because my career is not better than other people's because I've won flags and things like that. It's just you happen to be at the right place, right time. Yeah, yes, you're able to impact a group, but when we're looking at players of that stature, it's like, let's just look at them as players.
We didn't get to ask Norts about it because he probably doesn't know because he plays in the forward line, but the Lobster, Rory Lobb, coming back, reborn as one of the great key defenders of our generation. That's how I've seen it. How have you seen it as a backman, fellow backman?
Couldn't sum it up any better. And he's just become a better bloke too. Like,
of course.
Yeah, I know. It's just been an amazing transformation. And he in himself is feeling better. So, no, it's been an awesome move. He's so long, and it's like forwards have to work hard to try create their space, and he's just working off them, getting good reads. He's just
natural.
Yeah, he's impossible to stop if he's got a good look at it. So he is a team man. Even when he's forward, he's trying to help out his fellow forwards. So that naturally comes back. He slots into a back line perfectly because he's got that mentality of, trying to be a good team man. So really happy for him. Yeah.
Bloody oath. I'm happy to say it. Are we done?
Yeah.
Finished?
We're going to get this man to some weights.
You're going to go and roll some weights along the ground. Taylor Duryea, mate, pleasure having you on.
Yeah.
And sorry we couldn't do it longer, but thanks for joining us.
No, thanks for having me. Really appreciate it.
No worries. That's Dr. Duryea, everybody. BackChatStudios.com.au. Thanks to our sponsors, Paywise, ID Athletic, TABtouch, Whippersnapper Whisky, Mamba Digital, Shelter Brewing Co, Leadable Precinct, Camera Electronic. That's right. There's a lot of them and they make us happen. Thank you for your time and good luck for finals, mate.
Thank you. Yeah, thanks.